So hello, my beautiful people. On the last lesson, we talked about tools that you need as a beginner native to follow up this journey of your free beginner nail journey with me, and tool that you need as a beginner to not just with me as a beginner native on the budget, right? Forget about all the advanced tools. The tools that I mentioned on the last video, on the last lesson, are most of the tools that you need as a beginner to start up your journey, be it at home or in a trained professional, unless your trainer says otherwise, right? But most people have different requirements. But most of the tools that I mentioned, they can only add, will always come as one of the tools. So on today's lesson, we'll be talking about terms you need to familiarize yourself with as a beginner nail tech. Don't get into the field and someone makes or your client makes a statement. Your clients make calls a term and you don't understand what that means. So the first thing we'll be talking about today is the cuticle. What is your cuticle? The cuticle is the outer, is this thin outer layer that if you've done your nail before, you see people cutting this thin outer layer of your skin near the end of your nail. That is a cuticle. I'll be using the simplest term as possible, okay? That's a cuticle. And we always clean it up because we need a seamless finish look when we finally do the nail or the designs and everything. If you miss out one process or one, yes, during your nail prepping or during the nail procedure, you might likely have a good design, but the nail will look unpolished. So that's the reason why we trim the cuticle area. We take away the excess dirt from the skin. The second term you'll be getting familiarized with is a dead skin. You hear nail tech talk about dead skin. Dead skin is as your nail is pushing up, there are dirt part of the skin that sticks onto it. And as you move on as a nail tech, you realize that once you find the bed of your nail or your client's nail, you will see excess dirt coming or down right around the cuticle. You will see that some of the skin is sticking on the nail. So those are called nail. What was I saying? Dead skin. Okay, so you need to get rid of those things. They are part of the prepping. And the next time we'll be talking, you'll be getting familiarized with it's prepping. Now, what is prepping? Prepping is the entire process of you preparing the nail before starting with any nail tip or any extension or any design. That is the process where you are cleaning the cuticle, cleaning the dead skin, trimming the nail. That's called prepping. Applying whatever it needs to apply so that the extension can stick or the gel polish can stick on and last for a while. So that entire process is called prepping. So you mostly get nail tech saying the prepping is very important, which we'll be talking about later. You also get familiarized with the last time I mentioned tools, but I didn't talk about UV lamp, right? Now, UV lamp is one of the most important tools as you're doing your mini budget. Include UV lamp. It's one of the most expensive basic tools for a beginner nail tech. Now, there are different type of UV lamps and each vary depending on the capacity to cure effectively. This is mini lamp starts as small as this standing mini lamp, right? This one can be used to cure, but to cure nail polish, you take like forever. But this one is used to cure, for example, there are certain glues that need UV lamp, and these ones are helpful to cure those kind of glues when you're working on a client. It makes it easier. You don't need to carry the lamp and hold. You can just take it to your table and then turn it on and it will work. There are also designs that needs to be cured really quick before you continue the design. So this is a use of this kind of mini lamp, not really to cure gel polish because I doubt if it will cure effectively. Now you also have UV lamps as small as this. It can be an individual UV lamp, but using it on a client might take like a lot of your time. Like I was saying, the higher you go, the higher the capacity to cure faster and effectively or efficiently. So this one works better than this one, but this one has its own purpose. This one works better than this one. And this one will obviously work better than this one. And this one will obviously work better than this one. So there are different types of lamps in the market depending on the capacity to cure faster and effectively, okay, efficiently. I don't know which time to use it. So if you're getting a UV lamp, if you can afford, I would advise you to get a very good lamp because that's like a fixed capital. It's something that you don't need to be getting all the time like gel polishes. So if you can get a good lamb, an expensive good lamb, that's one capital that will tell you to really invest in. Get an effective good lamb that will last for long. It doesn't get bad easily, right? And you can serve a good purpose rather than getting the cheap ones that you need to as time goes. But if you cannot afford, you can easily get the smaller one, right? As time goes, you can upgrade to a more professional lamb. All right. You also hear terms like nail extension tips, nail tips. This is called a nail tip, and this is called a full cover nail. Now, what is the difference between the nail tip and the full cover nail? Let me show you. This is a nail tip. Can you see this? It goes right at the tip of your nail, right? Closer to the free edge. Now, this part of the nail that always grow long away from the body or from the skin is called the free edge. Now, you clip the nail tip slightly away from the free edge, not really down as compared to the full cover nail. Now, with a full cover nail, oh my God, did I just make this up? Now, with a full cover nail like this one, you glue it right at the extreme end of the nail. You know that it's already designed to cover your entire nail. That's why it's called, just by the name, full cover nail. You can see that, right? It's a full cover nail. Whereas this one goes at the tip. You can glue this one right just because of the way it's designed. It goes at the tip. And they all have their different advantages depending on the nail design that you want to do or the nail art that you want to do. And but they are all important. Okay. So if you're going to get your nail, you can decide to start with a nail tip or start with both. All right. So other terms you hear acrylic, you hear of polygel, you hear of dipping powder. I have a sample of a dipping powder here. Now a dipping powder is similar to acrylic, but it is not acrylic. This is the dipping powder. A dipping powder, just by the name, you don't need to do the application like acrylic. All you need to do, it has its solutions where you apply and then you dip your hand in the powder and it forms, you dry, you cure, and then you apply again, you repeat the process till you're satisfied. So that is what dipping powder is. It's as compared to acrylic and polygel and the other ones that you need to build, you don't build this. You don't build this through that process. You build it by dipping in, curing, dipping and curing. Now another term is curing. What is curing? Curing is simply just the setting your hand in the UV lamp to dry off whatever you're struggling to dry, the gel polish, the design, whatever. So that is curing. I guess I'll talk about. And then with gel polishes, you get extraordinary gel polishes, or I don't know, extraordinary gel polishes like matte top coat. It's a top coat, but it's used to do a unique design as compared to a normal top coat that is used to gloss a nail, right? To make it look shiny. This one can instantly make it look a little bit dull, and it's also used to do the other designs. And then you also hear primers, and then you hear dehydrators. Those are things that are used to apply. Those are prepping